Hi everyone, so today we're taking a look at Godus on Android. Now this is really a story of two halves. The first half is looking at the gameplay, and in the second half we're going to look at those in-app purchases and the road that brought us here. So what is Godus? Well, Godus is a god simulator. You play a god. You have worshippers who you're going to have to shepherd really through the world. You'll help them build and expand their settlements and explore the environment, uncovering its secrets. As your civilization progresses through the human ages, through the Bronze Age, Iron Age and so on, you'll develop new skills and abilities, not only for yourself as god, but also for your followers as well. Now the gameplay here is very engaging and it lends itself perfectly to touchscreen controls. You'll have to sculpt the environment, literally pulling on items of land in order to create more space or to create paths for your followers. In doing so, you'll open new areas for your followers to settle in, increasing your population size and opening up more areas of the game. Tapping and dragging are two of the key aspects of this game, and it does like to make you tap and drag an awful lot. This game is a massive time sink. You can quite literally lose hours and hours playing Godus, so this is not a game necessarily for the faint-hearted. It does have a pick up and play mechanic here, because the world continues to evolve whilst you're not playing. That means you can come back after a few hours, collect up the belief that your followers have generated while you've not been playing, and continue to expand and interact with the world. The game world is truly beautiful, using a very flat style with kind of onion layers is the best way I can describe it, to kind of build up the geometry of the world. Now it works extremely well, and it actually is quite nicely suited to mobile devices as well as obviously PC. But this is a heavy 3D world in the sense that it will put a big strain on your mobile hardware. Do expect to drain your battery very quickly, and also to build up a considerable amount of heat while you're playing this game as well. This game is incredibly engaging. It does keep you coming back for more and more and more, hour after hour. That's not necessarily a good thing in some respects. The game is almost a little too addictive. There's something quite tribal, if you'll pardon the expression, in that constant clicking and dragging that just speaks to that OCD part of our brains. Got to click them all, got to collect all of that belief, got to keep expanding. Which brings us on to the second half of this story of Godus. You see, Godus started as a Steam Early Access title. You might remember we created some videos during its early days following its progress. Now, as part of that early access, gamers were asked to pay, I think it was £20, in order to help with the development. Now, you can imagine how disappointed I am to find a game that is so stuffed with in-app purchases that I actually backed paying £20 to help them develop this. It's a strange thing, and it almost feels like a bit of a kick in the teeth to those early backers. Godus is a game which wants to keep you clicking, that is very resource heavy in the sense of needing belief to keep expanding. It's been layered with in-app purchases for practically every aspect of the game, allowing you to effectively jump forward or overcome an obstacle that might actually be, well, a downside to a game mechanic, as opposed to, because you're not very good at the game and you need to actually pay that little boost in. It's a strange thing to have found you've paid £20 for a game that is essentially free to play and stuffed with in-app purchases. It leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. It's a shame, because Godus is a fantastic game no matter what device you play it on, from PC to tablets to smartphones. It would have been better if this title was sold for, say, $1.99, $2.99, heck, even $5.99 on mobiles, and ripped out these in-app purchases. Allow the game to be free in that sense, that there's not this constant nag of, you could spend some gems and you could fill this house quickly, you could spend some gems and you could have super wheat, you could spend some gems and get some sticker packs. Unfortunately, these in-app purchases do mar the experience, especially if you're an early backer. They don't necessarily get in the way of the gameplay, but they are a continual reminder that this game could have been so much easier for the player to actually play if it wasn't constantly dragging down on the resources in some respects, forcing you into situations after 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay where you can't do any more, or you need to put your hand in your pocket if you want to carry on playing during that play session. Now you could say that Godus is a game about the long haul. It's about spending days, weeks, months building this settlement, just like in some respects a microcosm for the real span of humanity. But even so, with those in-app purchases there and the way they kind of pop in from the side of the screen when you've run out of belief, it just feels a little bit naggy. And again, if you were one of those early backers, it's not hard to feel a little hard done by here. Godus is a fantastic game, marred by these in-app purchases unfortunately, which really should have either been toned down or removed completely. Thanks for watching. Don't forget you can pledge $1 a month on Patreon to help support the Androidizen, keeping us 100% independent, an honest opinion direct from the UK. If you pledge $1 a month, you'll be entered into our prize pool to win cool items from our review bag. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. We love to chat.